সিগমাকে কিক করে দিস। সিগমা প্রথম সিগমাকে কিক করে দিস, কাজটা ছাড়া কাউকে থাকতে দিস না, বাইরে থেকে দেখতে বল।
স্ট্রিম হচ্ছে না?
হ্যাঁ
স্ট্রিম
স্ট্রিম হবে।
স্ট্রিম হবে।
হ্যালো। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে। কানেকশন টিভির সাউন্ড একটু কমে তো।
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
হ্যাঁ
না না না
না
সার্ভারের না।
সার্ভারের প্রবলেম না, আমাদের একজন প্লেয়ার অফলাইন হয়ে গেছে, তাই জন্য স্টার্ট হচ্ছে না। হুম হুম।
क्या हो रहा है? আমাকে চ্যানেল দেখাচ্ছে না, তারা আমি ডিস করে আসি, বেরিয়ে আসছি। তারা লিভ লবি করছি। সাইডের মাসে একজন নেই নাকি? আপনারা কবে তো বলুন। বল বল বল। ও গো স্টার্ট করে go। Hello guys, welcome once again. We are live with the upper bracket final match between Stylish Gamers and DigicontEsports. Stylish Gamers team drafted by Master Instinct, where DigicontEsports team is led by Boop. We are waiting for the first ban. QOP getting first ban first from the side of Stylish Gamers. Whereas all the meta heroes like in every game, Speedbreaker getting banned first on the side of DigicontEsports, Stylish Gamers banning Bane Elemental. Whereas we were getting banned from the side of Digicon Esports. First pick OD first pick coming from the side of stylish viewers. It's a very in meta hero and a flexible hero too, where like you can put OD in the mid lane or in the off lane. So all the mid meta heroes getting banned and instead picked OD from the side of stylish viewers. Like it seems like stylish viewers already had a plan in their mind, picking OD as in the first pick instantly as soon as the ban phase was over. You'll have to see some sort of. We are expecting a bit tough fight this game. Both the teams are pretty strong and have their own unique play style. So Digicon Esports countering OD with a Jakiro pick in the first pick. Jakiro is the first pick, followed by a Snapfire. Let's see what Stylish Rumors reveals in the second pick of the first phase. Digicon Esports just revealing both of their supports, Jakiro and Snapfire, in the first phase of the draft only. Spirit getting picked from the side of stylish gamer. Signature hero of Pampu. He's like pretty confident playing that hero. And probably OD gonna be played by Master Instinct in the mid lane. Woods are getting banned from the side of stylish gamers. And Darkseer getting banned from the side of Digicon Esports. I think they banned Darkseer because Darkseer and Spirit plays a potent role in the lane. Just to counter that, they banned Darkseer. And since the both of the supports have been already been revealed, and none of them are pretty much good against Darkseer, so it's a pretty legit ban coming from the side of Digicon. Stylish Gamers banning out Lifestealer as their fourth ban. Digicon banning out Timbersaw as their fourth ban. So some interesting bans coming from both the sides, whereas Stylish Gamers preferring to ban the carries, whereas Digicon is supposed to banning all the offlaners. Spirit along with Darkseer is a pretty strong lane. Iron Shield Dark Spirit, he'll just roll into the opponent carry. Stylish Humor banning out Puck. As far as we have seen in this tournament, both the teams are pretty much aggressive in their early to mid game. Both the teams love to like smoke up quite a number of times in the early game and invade into the opponent's NC into the try camp and take fights. So also the picks that we have seen till now, OD, Earth Spirit, Yakiro, Snapper, all of the four heroes are loves to fight, are low cooldown heroes. All of them have low spell cooldown. They love to fight, like take head-on fight every once in a while. Another fighting hero coming from the side of Digicon Esports. They are like high burst, high nuke lineup till now. Snapfire, Jakiro, Voice Spirit, all of them have pretty high nuke, high burst damage potential with them, and all of them are pretty low cooldown heroes. So it is pretty evident from this game that from the picking style of both the heroes, like both of them would be loving to play more aggressive during the laning phase, and there will be fights taking every now and then. A fight happening every now and then. Digicon Esports picked Void Spirit against the OD, probably just to counter the Meteor Hammer build against him. Yeah, because with Void Spirit you can quite easily dodge the Meteor Hammer build. Also, I think the mid lane will be owned by OD, according to me, because OD is a pretty strong mid laner, and Voice Spirit will be having a bit tough time playing the mid lane against OD. All the burst damage coming from the side of Digicon Esports has been neglected by their Abaddon pick. So it's a pretty good pick, pretty good position 5 coming from the side of Stylish Gamers. Just looking into the burst damage, the burst potential that the Digicon Esports have brought into the play till now with the first 3 picks. I would say that Abaddon is a pretty good pick against them. Just to control the burst damage, just to negate the amount of damage coming from it. So Stylish Gamers probably have seen the mid laner and the position 4. So they're probably picking the offlaner or the carry, I guess, in this pick. Mars getting picked from the side of stylish gamers. Another pretty good initiator coming from the side of stylish gamers. I'm really liking the Aberrant pick at this point of time. It just negates the early aggression that we can see quite evident from the draft phase of the Digicon Esports. It negates the early aggression, it negates the early burst damage, early nuke coming from Snapfire, Jakiro, and Voice Spirit. So since Digicon Esports have already seen the offlane on Mars and Arspit, probably they're gonna pick the carry in this phase. And yeah, Razor it is. It will be a Razor carry with another hero which is a mid-centric hero, mid-game centric hero. Pretty tough, pretty strong lane presence, pretty strong in the early to mid game, and another low cooldown hero. So Digicon Esports have already made up their mind that they will be running into the NC of into the side of stylish gamers and take fights after fights after fights with the heroes that they have, and also they have picked heroes which are pretty much strong laners. Like if you're matching up against Mars and Earth Spirit against with Jakiro and Razor, it's a pretty strong lane from the side of Digicon Esports. The only lane which I am doubting is just picking a White Spirit against the OD, but somehow White Spirit counters OD with when once the OD completes his Meteor Hammer. It's pretty hard to channelize the stun on the Void Spirit unless and until you are just picture perfect landing the Meteor Hammer. So yeah, both the teams have a plan in the draft evidently tells us that both the teams have a pretty good draft decided in their mind. before coming to the game. They have things worked out. They have things planned beforehand. So stylish gamers banning out Grimstroke. Probably they are doubting that this Snapfire may be an offlaner, so, or a Jakiro may be an offlaner. So they're banning out the supports at this point, banning out Greenstroke, whereas DigicontEsports banning out the Koyari pick that is left on the side of stylish gamers, banning out Void. Stylish gamers banning out WK. Probably they are thinking that the Razor is an offlaner and they want to ban another in meta hero WK, which is also like uh, in meta hero at this moment of time, and also WK you can come to fight with WK 1-0 ultis on CD and play a fight centric game. Whereas Digicon is for banning out PA, so that leaves out with the last picks from both sides. Stylish gamers have 8 seconds of reserve time left. And Stylish gamers replies with a Luna pick. Okay, so it's pretty evident that it's gonna be Abaddon Luna lane, with whereas OD gonna be a mid planer and Mars will be offlaning along with Dark Spirit. Whereas on the side of Digicon Esports, we can see some sort of flex picks coming with Razor and Jakiro. Still not decided who's gonna be the carry, who's gonna be the offlaner. So Razor, you can flex pick Razor as a carry or an offlaner. The last pick of the draft will be deciding the lanes. So again, we can see a last pick Nice Shocker coming from the side of Digicon Esports. So the whole lineup of Digicon Esports are pretty much high nuke, high fight centric, mid like early to mid game lineup with Night Shocker, Razor, Voice Spirit, Snapfire, Jakiro, all of them like they will be just clamping up as 5 and will be loving to take fights every now and then with the low cooldown spells that they have. Whereas stylish gamers would be preferring to dodge the fights because early game, I think early taking fights in the early game will be a pretty rough time for them if they decide to take early fights, rather than the stylish gamers will be going for that pick off lineup and let the Luna and OD get fat before coming online and take fight. Whereas the dire side will be running into the side of the Radiant and take fights every now and then. So yeah, let's see how the game works. And from the side of Radiant, Master Instinct playing OD, Pegasus, Master Instinct playing OD, Pegasus playing Abaddon, Arjunan playing Luna, Pampu playing Earth Spirit, and Johnny the Gravity playing Mars as offlaner. Whereas on the dire side, Soteria playing Razor as the carry, Boo playing Boy Spirit, Shinji playing Jakiro, Snapper being played by Kitaijen, and Cooldown playing Nice Sugar offlane. So we can see a 5-man smoke coming from the side of the Radiant. They decided to go on the Snapper. The Snapper is pretty much dead. The first blood coming from the side of Mars. They'll be invading into the opponent try camp to secure the bounty runes, whereas the dire side decided to go into the opposite side of the map. So this will leave with 2 bounty runes on each side. Mars already having a good start getting the first blood before even the game started. So he will be just getting his soldering as soon as the laning phase starts. So it's a snap by Night Stalker lane against a Abaddon Luna lane. Let's see how that works out. Abaddon starting out with his first kill, harassing the opponents with once the first kill is on cooldown, using that first kill on Night Stalker every now and then once it's on CD. Whereas in the top lane, Pampu is just blocking the pool camp from the dire side. Just blocking the camp and returning to lane. Luna is having pretty easy lane.
I like your style.
Pampu is just playing pretty sneaky and killing the Jakiro's courier. In the mid lane, till now is pretty even at the 1 minute 30 seconds mark. But as soon as the game drags, as the OD levels up, I think old Boy Spirit will be having like a bit tough time laning against the OD. A lot of harassment coming from the side of Razor and Jakiro onto Mars. Whereas Abaddon tanking out most of the damage coming from the dire side and trying to keep the Luna safe and sound to farm the lane. OD just using his first kill onto Voice Speed, and we can see that the Voice Speed is pretty low on HP. Voice Speed using his third skill, using second skill, sorry, using Dissemble it to just to secure the range grips. And with that, he already got his empty bottle, already his bottle coming in the courier. The side camp being pulled by the dire side, Snapfire getting harassing the Luna, but that damage is getting totally neglected by the Abaddon. Pampu is playing sneaky. Pampu is just standing behind the tower, making the space for Mars and killing the courier every now and then. He already killed Jakiro's courier, and now he has also killed Razor's courier. He is just keeping Jakiro out of the lane so that Mars faces a 1v1 lane against the Razor. It's a link that has been used on Mars, but the first kill of Mars helps him to survive. Voice Speed going to secure the bounty rune of the Radiant side. At this point of time, Razor is just leading the network chart, which is pretty much evident with the amount of damage that they have. It will be pretty easy lane for Razor and Jakiro, followed by Night Stalker. So yeah, till now the dire side course having pretty good lane. Also, Voice Spirit is having some easy lane against the OD. I would not say it's an easy lane, but it's a quite even matchup till now. Both the heroes having like same amount of last hits. 4-minute mark. A lot of harassment coming onto Luna, but Abaddon maxing out the first skill helps the Luna to sustain in the lane. Just refilling his HP 1 every now and then when the spells are casted on Luna. The top lane we can see a body block coming from the side of Jakiro, and instantly a kick from the Earth Spirit, and they are going onto the Mars. This Mars is dead. Pampu tried his level best to save the Mars, but was not able to do so. Luna is going pretty ham, he's playing pretty aggressive against the Snapfire and Night Stalker lane, and the balls, lag coming from the dire side, whereas Nice salve usage coming from Snapper, but I doubt whether he will survive or not because Luna's first kill is just 1 second CD and he will be just chasing the Snapfire to use that first kill or even one hit to kill him.
Stupid.
So the game is resuming. Snapfire will be, Luna will be going on to Snapfire and Snapfire is dead. It's a nice play by Luna. Master is just playing in the high ground of the dire side. He is just chasing the voice spirit. Astral under the voice spirit every now and then whenever it is on CD. Whereas in the top lane, we can see the Mars is getting pressured. Oh my god, I missed the kill in the mid lane. He just astral the voice spirit and instantly uses the ultimate. And the voice spirit was pretty much dead. As we have discussed that, as I've just told that once the OD starts to level up, this voice spirit gonna have a tough time in the lane. But I think voice spirit, once the voice spirit levels, so 1 second pump is running behind the courier just to kill it. He kills the Jakiro's courier twice. And I think once voice spirit is level 6, I think he will be rotating to other lane just to get some kills, just to make space for other heroes in the map. Because ultimately it won't be that easy for voice spirit to lane against OD. Yeah, voice spirit OD's meter hammer, first meter hammer was being dodged by voice spirit using his second spell. In the meantime, our spirit was just going on to the Jakiro, and Jakiro solo kills the spirit, whereas voice spirit rotates and going for the Mars kill. Okay, it's bit of. It's a perfect timing coming from the side of OD. That voice will survive. Yeah, the voice will survive, but it's a nice TP and roll from Mars Spirit coming, and this Jakiro is pretty much dead. Now they'll be chose to chase the voice spirit once again. No sort of TP coming from the dire side. Pampu rolling onto the voice spirit. OD using the second spell on voice spirit and keeping it before the kill. Some friendly tips coming from the side of the Radiant. Whereas in the bot lane, once the Night Stalker is once Night Stalker saw the opening and it's the night time, he just decided to go onto the Abaddon and Luna and gets to easy kills. I think voice spirit having a pretty rough time, and yeah, pretty hard time to lane against the OD at this point of time with OD already getting Meteor Hammer coming completed. Jakiro trying to rotate and get hold of OD, but OD was pretty aware of that movement. He again uses the Astral on voice spirit and uses the ultimate, and this voice spirit is so very dead. I think this voice spirit should have bought some infused raindrop with him just to negate some sort of damage coming from the Astral. Oh, it's a nice snap fire cookie coming just to stop the spirit roll, and Jakiro getting saved by that cookie. So OD having a pretty good time. He is going for the Midas now. Midas will now, after completing the Meteor Hammer, so every time the voice spirit shows himself in lane, he will be dead, I guess. Pampu just diving onto the spirit, and this spirit is pretty much dead. Razor switching the lane with Mars and Abaddon deciding to go for the top tower, whereas Night Stalker is diving onto the Luna. Abaddon with his third skill just securing the tower. Every time the third skill procs, the attack speed and the attack speed that increases helps to take the tower as soon as possible, whereas OD also trying to take the lane tower with the Meteor Hammer spam. got that one first kill from White Spirit. That one Astral from OD is just taking out half of the White Spirit HP. The roll timing of just missed by Pampu. That's a nice attempt coming from the side of White Spirit. In the meantime, the tower trade gonna take place. Radiant taking the top lanes, like the safe lane tower of the dire side, whereas the trade gonna happen in the bot lane from the dire side. This Jakiro is just following the OD at this point of time. He is just running behind the OD, but the Snapfire walked a bit too far, and I think the Snapfire is pretty much dead with the Mars rotation. Jakiro just wanted to break the ward, and the Mars arena been invested, and he is not able to break the ward, and also he is dead. Pretty good ganks coming from the Radiant side. Another multi from invested from the side of Radiant, from the side of OD. Now they decided to go on to Razor, and another pause coming from the Radiant side. Pause coming from the Radiant side, and Abaddon DCs from the game.
The only one surprised by this is you.
That leaves with Razor being dead. Let's look at the network chart. OD is leading the network chart followed by Night Stalker and Razor. Luna had a pretty tough time in the lane, but this Razor is so very dead, and Master is having a game of his life. He's having a pretty easy game with 11 minutes, I guess it's 11 to 12 minutes, 11 minute Midas along with Meteor Hammer. Yeah. It's a pretty good timing coming from OD. He's already 602, and this Void Spirit having a pretty rough time. As discussed in giving the draft, that Void Spirit against the OD in the mid lane will be a pretty tough lane for Void Spirit. Snapfire missing the P, whereas Night Stalker and Void Spirit all jumping onto the OD. That's a very pretty kill. That's a pretty comeback network from Void Spirit, going for the OD kill and getting around 500 gold from the kill of OD. And Void Spirit and all the four of the heroes jumping onto the Mars. This Earth Spirit trying to take the fight, trying to gain some sort of attention, but still dies. The early game aggression that we have discussed during the drafting phase slowly coming into play. Once OD uses his Astral, all the four heroes like Night Stalker, Jakiro, White Spirit all decides to go jump onto OD, and OD at that time is left with little to nothing to survive. No defensive spell, nothing to survive the fight. Once again the dire side deciding to go on to OD. They are just having a look on the. They are just. This Void Spirit is just baiting all the spells coming from OD. Just baiting the Astral and the Meteor Hammer. And Jakiro is following up their Ice Path, but all the new damage was being negated by the Abaddon Shield and Heal. And OD survives, whereas the Radiant side got a Jakiro as a return kill, and I think Earth Spirit will also. Void Spirit survives. Glimmer of which Void Spirit dies with the damage. Night Stalker jumping onto the OD, but the Abaddon trying to save the OD as much as they can. It's a nice Ice Path coming from Jakiro, catching Abaddon and Earth Spirit and getting both the kills.
Seems
it's
like the whole network has been equal now. It has shifted to the dire side, and the Radiants, they don't have any more network lead now, and the dire side are pushing on to the tier 1 tower, with their 5 heroes, whereas the Radiant side have 2 of their cores down.
But it's all these things happening is making the space for Luna at this point of time. But OD after having an amazing start, he was 6-0, and now he is 6-3. He's dying three times back to back. And as I have already told during the draft phase, that this with the draft that we can see from the side of DigicontEsports, as soon as the early to mid game lineup comes into comes into existence, the high burst damage, the high nuke, and the 5-man gameplay that this Digicon side gonna play will give some problem to the Radiant side, and the same thing is happening. The amount of burst damage that this Dire side is bringing into play with Jakiro, Snapfire, with the amount of positional advantage that the Night Stalker ulti is giving, and the ultimate low cooldown spells coming from the Dire side, they can take fight every now and then.
Yeah.
Helping
What
them
is
to take
what is enabling them is the Void Spirit baiting out the spells of OD and the Night Stalker with Crippling Fear jumping on OD. I mean, if you get close enough to the Night Stalker, because of the Crippling Fear, he cannot cast any spells.
Yeah, and also we saw one thing. Once again, there is a smoke coming from the Radiant side, coming from the Dire side. Sorry, and they are going on to the OD, and this OD is dead once again. I think we have already discussed. I was already discussing during the draft phase that this thing gonna happen with the amount of burst damage, with the amount of nuke and the low spell cooldown damage that this Dire side is having. They're gonna play pretty aggressive.
I mean, look at the Snapfire. I mean, look, Snapfire has a Snapfire cookie for stun. He has a little shredder to reduce the armor, and on top of that, he's making a solar crest that will buff up his core or even like debuff his enemies. So that is a lot of things happening with a Snapfire.
The only thing that is working well for the Radiant side is the Luna getting some space, getting some farm. He is getting some unhindered farm. So yeah, but at the same time, the Razor and Night Stalker's network are just skyrocketing every now and then. OD was 6-0 at like around 3 to 4 minutes back. Now he's 6-4, dying 4 times back to back. But OD will somehow recover with the Midas build that he has went after getting all the early game skills. The network charge shifted from OD shifted from first to third position in the network graph.
But the Midas build is quite good. I mean, by the time the Luna is ready, I think the OD will also be ready for late game fights with the Midas.
Yeah, one thing that this Dire side did was really commendable, right? As soon as OD completed his Meteor Hammer, the Jakiro was just standing behind that OD. Like he was just mirror.
We have a knight now. We have a knight now, and the Night Stalker has turned on his ultimate ability, and he is ready to fight. He is in his Ascension form, and he is running at OD. And yeah, there comes the Snapfire's Mortimer Kisses to slow down the OD, and the OD is dead. The OD is cut down again, and there is that. They are trying to run after the Abaddon, and his borrowed time has been propped up. The borrowed time is not there. He has no more time left. They are killing him. There's nothing they can do. This draft is really fast against them. It's spacey, and with the Crippling Fear, it just disables you from casting any spells.
Also, what Jakiro was doing once the OD completed his Meteor Hammer. And what Jakiro was doing, he was just standing as a nice cookie coming from Snapper, securing the spirit kill, whereas Mars is also dead, I guess.
Yeah, it is really hard to play in this patch against Jakiro. I mean, we have seen that some heroes in a particular patch, they are quite extraordinary, and Jakiro is one of them. I mean, his dual breath along with liquid fire and ice path, that's just so much magical damage. And they are now jumping on the Luna.
Actually, the pace in which the DigicontEsports is playing is too very fast. It's pretty fast for the Radiant side to handle. They don't have that much amount of save. Once OD uses the second spells on enemy, he is pretty much like a dead man. No one can save that OD once he uses the second spell, no defensive spell. So Abaddon comes into existence at that point of time, but the amount of burst damage that this side is having at this point is really tough for the even for the Abaddon to save his course. So Jakiro played a perfect game. Like once he noticed that was what I was telling, that once he noticed that OD has already completed Meteor Hammer, he was just mid positioning that OD. Wherever OD was going, Jakiro was there, just to cancel the channel from coming from OD. And he, in that manner, he secured 2 to 3 kills on OD and also like saved his allies every now and then.
Yeah, I mean even his use kept said good thing, like he can use his Yule Scepter and then Void Spirit can catch, or he can catch, and okay. Yeah, that was a defensive arena from the Mars, trying to keep everyone out and save the Abaddon, but luckily it didn't work.
Yeah, and also Luna has completed his BKB in the meantime. Uzo has also completed his BKB.
Just look at the armor reduction on the Earth Spirit. He went in, he got shredded by Little Shredder, and then the Solar Crest buff on him from the Snapfire. That makes it really like impossible. Someone who, if you don't have an Assault Cuirass, you cannot stand, and you also need a Blade Mail.
Yeah. So we can see that Night Stalker is leading the network chart. He's like 2.5k above Luna at this point of time, so we can see that how much farm this Night Stalker had during the early game, and he already started the mid game with 2 Bracer, 1 BKB and Eco Saver. He's already had a HP pool of 2300, so it's a pretty tanky beef. This is a pretty tanky beefy Night Stalker coming into the front line.
And it is daytime, but and he doesn't have Dark Ascension, so I don't think they're going to fight. The only time these heroes they can enable themselves if he has Dark Ascension or it is night.
I like your style.
So
also the Radiant side is playing pretty safe. They are just waiting for the OD to complete his BKB, because without that BKB, OD cannot take part in any sort of fight.
Yeah,
like,
he's quite close. I mean, he's just 600 big gold away, so he's quite close. He just need one Hand of Midas charge and a little more farm. He will get it.
Has completed his Chrysalis already, and he is just moving towards BKB. He was moving towards Dragonlance, completing his Dragonlance after his BKB. After he's done with his BKB, but in the meantime,
I think the Luna did have his Dragonlance. I did see it.
Yeah, he completed his Dragonlance. They need to simply to complete his BKB. Just to complete his BKB. In the meantime, the Dire side are taking the map control. They are just going for the bottom second tower, and in the same time using the fortification and going for the bottom lane, going to defend the top lane.
Yeah, they tried to do a tower trade, but the fortification saved it and the instant TPs. But in that, the Abaddon had to sacrifice himself in order for the Luna to get away.
In the meantime, the Dire side decided to go for the RS. It's a pretty fast RS coming from the Dire side with the Solar Crest and third skill coming from Empire. Pretty easy RS.
What do you think about Abaddon with a shard? I mean, the Curse of Everness, that's a really good thing. Oh, that's a nice roll down. That's a nice arena. They have got it. Oh, and Luna get the Aegis. That's the Aegis still. Oh, nice. They have turned the tide around. They were ahead like 9k net worth, and now it's falling down. Nice Aegis steal by Luna.
That totally shifts the momentum somehow. That totally shifts the momentum of the game somehow. As soon as we saw that, as soon as they completed the BKB, they just dived the Roshan pit as a 5-man. But Abaddon, what you just asked, that Abaddon with Shadia, Curse of Everness is like, it's good, but yeah, he should be making some better items than going for a shard. He needs to save his allies rather than but if Night Stalker goes on to Abaddon, he won't be able to save any of his allies. That silence, that drifting spear will be totally neglecting him from the team fight. So he used to need steps. He needs a 4 stuff anyhow just to save himself, so that he can save his allies at this point. So that item choice of going for 4 stuff is the perfect item choice according to me.
And the Razor is ready, making his BKB, and oh, they have got the Luna.
Luna is there. The Luna was
The Luna is there.
not even using BKB because the Razor was above him.
And the Abaddon TP is out. Oh, they have got the Mars. They have got the Mars. There is no escape from this. The Mars is going to die.
Even though Luna got the edges, but wow, the problem is that as soon as he got the edges, he died instantly. So once that was done, the fight was pretty much over. Like they just prevent in that manner, they just prevented some sort of aggression coming from the dire side if they had got the edges. But since the edges was stolen and was denied, some sort of aggression was prevented. Oh, the BKB used from Night Stalker, and they are just jumping onto the OD. Abaddon trying to save the OD, but the amount of damage this Razor has stolen, pretty tough. They will be diving the tower, I guess. Yeah, they're diving the tower just to kill the OD. The Night Stalker diving the tower.
Yeah, but now that is a big problem. If they catch the Night Stalker, oh, they can't catch the Night Stalker. The snap saves him with a brilliant snapfire cookie.
But something for nothing is a better choice. They went for the snapper kill. Nice roll blocked by the Razor, and the South Spirit is dead. They were just standing in the high ground waiting for the.
Oh, the Razor has his refresher. The Razor has his refresher.
Yeah, this Razor is pretty fat. This Razor and Night Stalker is pretty fat. This Night Stalker just dove on the the base tower of the Radiant side just to kill that OD. And Abaddon was not even able to save the OD even after using all the spells one by one. Also we can see Snapfire going for like some aura items. He completed his Solar Crest. Now he has also completed his drums of endurance. Like it gives some 8 charges with attack speed and movement speed. So we can see some, like he has already planned for some aggressive items, some aggressive build from the side of the dire. Voice Wait going for the Abaddon, but immediately realizing there is a teammates that's backing up the Abaddon, he just backs out.
The Void Spirit has his Kaya and Sanj, and he has queued up his Agonies.
Yeah, it's a 5-man smoke coming from the dire side. They are pinging the bot lane for the Earth Spirit. But the Earth Spirit realizes that he may be in some sort of danger. He immediately backs out from that lane. The dire side going for the Tricamp and securing the kill of the Mars, I guess. Yeah, the Mars is pretty much dead. Then next they will be going for the Luna. Razor stealing all the damage from Luna. But Luna immediately uses BKB and TPs. Next they will be going for the Obsidian Tester or Outworld Devourer. And all of the heroes just running towards base using their BKB from the Radiant side. So Stylish Gamers having a pretty rough time in this game. They are just using their BKB just to run out from the fights. Luna using his BKB and TP to survive. OD using his BKB and just running towards base. There's a nice ward placement, but immediately as soon as they got on Snapfire, this Night Stalker was always in position and just dove onto them just to take the kill. Nice save coming from the side of OD, saving the Luna, negating all the worst damage of Jakiro ultimate and Snapfire ultimate. And it's a nice combat coming from both sides. None of the players dying after a 5v5 combat, and all of them successfully able to back out from the fight. So as soon as the Radiant side realized that all the spells have been used up by the dire side, they just immediately did a 5-man smoke and going for a peacock, going for a hunt. But the dire side immediately realizing it,
Oh, they have caught the Razor. The Razor is dead. They have caught the Jakiro. The Jakiro is going to
Oh my
die, but
god,
he
the
has so
burst
much.
damage. Oh my god, that burst damage coming from Void Spirit.
Yeah.
But this OD is going ham at this moment of time. OD and Luna is going ham. But the Night Stalker comes into play at this point of time, going for the Mars kill using his BKB. Next he'll be going for the Luna, but the damage coming out, damage output from Luna and OD is pretty heavy for Night Stalker to handle. And oh my god, that damage coming from Luna. This Luna is this fight all like gave Luna around 2 to 3k gold. Yeah, the fight recap.
I mean, the Radiant side have lost a lot of map space, but net worth wise, they are not that behind. I mean, it was 7k, and after this fight, it was only 5k.
Yeah.
So, and
But,
look at the Jakiro.
Yeah, but
Look
the
at the
problem
Zakiro,
the problem that the Radiant side will be facing is once the Void Spirit completes its Aghanim sector. Like Void, the BKB cooldowns are just diminishing in every fight. Once it is in a 6-second cooldown, the Void Spirit gonna do like a disrupt. Void Spirit gonna create some sort of chaos, some sort of disruption in the team fight as soon as it completes its Aghanim. The amount of silence that he will be jumping onto the backline, onto OD, onto Abaddon, and creating and silencing them and creating the space for the Night Stalker and the Razor. So you can understand the positional advantage that the Dire side will be having. First, they will be having vision of the Radiant side with the with the help of Dark Ascension. Second, the Void Spirit will be jumping onto the backline. So the amount of silence and damage that these two heroes will be bringing into the team fight will be immense.
The Radiant side, they just need to hold down that burst. If they do that, the Dire side has nothing to run on.
Yeah.
I mean, they cannot fight head on with a Luna. It's really hard to fight a Luna head on.
Also, they are pinging for the Night Stalker kill. If the Night Stalker is there for around 64 seconds more, he is dead, I guess. Yeah, all the spells being used on the Night Stalker, the OD ulti, the Mars Arena and everything. The Luna using his ultimate and killing the side of the Dire. Razor using his refresher and his BKB just to go for the kills, but he's not getting any kills. The OD is already dead, and the Razor also dies as a buyback coming from the Snapper. Snapper using his Mortimer Kisses, and the Abaddon is just trying to saving the Luna in every fight, every now and then. Whereas Void Spirit trying to burst down that Luna, but the amount of save that is coming from Abaddon has already saved the Luna to ignore that burst damage, and the Abaddon plays a vital role and helps the Luna survive in the team fight. So it's a pretty like around 3 minutes back it was a 8k net worth lead coming from the Dire side, and now it's totally 1k net worth lead from the Radiant side. Two immense fights coming from the Radiant side. The burst, the pick off that they got once they killed that Night Stalker. They killed the Night Stalker in no time, and this Night Stalker was not able to put on his BKB and survive. So that we can see that without the Night Stalker, this Dire side we don't have that much amount of damage to take the fight. Night Stalker going on, putting on his BKB and going on to the Luna, and this Luna is dead. The Void Spirit just bite back into the game just to kill the Luna. They also got hold of Earth Spirit, the Silence killing the Earth Spirit and Luna. So it's I'd say it's a nice buyback coming from Void Spirit, getting double kill and two important kills on Luna and Pampu playing the Earth Spirit. So he got a pretty good chunk of gold that fight.
And looking at map space wise, it's totally balanced right now. Just look.
Yeah, also the network difference is less than 1k. So I would say that both the teams are at a like 50-50 position. Like, let me look at the graph. What the graph suggests? It's like neck to neck. It's saying the Stylish Gamers has a 47% win probability, whereas Digicont at 53%. So we can say that the game is well poised and it's gonna drag pretty late, I guess, and it's a pretty even game at this point in time. Also, the voice rate is like 2000 gold away from the second chapter. I think the next power spike from the dire side will be happening once the voice rate completes its second chapter.
Yeah.
That power spike is gonna be immense from the dire side.
But I'm thinking, what if the dire side is not able to finish the game early? I mean, the Luna, once it becomes 6 slot, that is a really hard hero to kill.
Yeah, the Luna with 6 slot will be hard to kill, but they have a Razor which, but the mechanism is how Razor works is basically an anti-carry hero. Like when you have a hard hitter in your team, the Razor gonna suck all the damage with the refresher wall and the BKB. He will be just sucking all the damage out of Luna. So Luna is like would just be like a dead rubber standing in the fight without any sort of damage. So yeah, they have some sort of save from Abaddon, but this Razor gonna play a very vital role. Every now and then, in every fight, he gonna suck damage from the Luna. Yeah.
So Radiant side should is killing the Razor first and then the Night Stalker. In between all the chaos that is created by Void and the hero.
If Spirit dies, Abaddon ulti is getting procced out. They will be going for the Luna kill. Luna, as you can see, the Razor is just going after the Luna. His primary target will be that Luna. Abaddon ulti being already been used. He will be the next hero in the target list of the Dire. Yeah, Abaddon also dies. His voice spirit jumping for the Earth Spirit kill. One forcing of the buyback from the Earth Spirit and immediately backing out. That's a nice call. And they will be going for the Radiant mid tower, mid lane second tower, I guess, tier 2 tower. This Razor is getting pretty fat with time. He has all he's like 300 to 400 gold from Assault Kuras. He's pretty much close to his Assault Kuras. The Luna is dead without a buyback, I guess. Yeah, Luna is dead for 55 seconds without a buyback. And the dire side realized that they'll be just going for the bot lane Drax. Whereas OD is trying to like astral someone, but he made it realize that he is in a bit off position. He just blinks out, and in the meantime, with the Aegis advantage, the Radiant side decided to take the rack. Mars ulti being expended, but this Razor is pretty fat. He's just using his BKB and going onto the Earth Spirit. This Earth Spirit is pretty much dead. Another Mars Arena getting invested. Mars which is completing his refresher orb, but with all the spells usage in vain, because they have to secure any sort of kills at this moment. But yeah, it's a nice kill onto Razor. The Spirit dying. It's a dieback coming from to the Earth in the form of Earth Spirit, but the Aegis is still there with Void. So we can see a double buyback coming from Pampu playing the Earth Spirit and also Abaddon, and also double arena expanded from the side of Radiant, so just for securing the kill for the Razor. But as we can see, that Voice Spirit still has his Aegis with him, with the Aegis timer being it's around 2 minutes still remaining for the Aegis timer. And the Dire side realizing that it's maybe a smoke coming from the Radiant side, they just immediately backs out and stays behind the tower. But the Voice Spirit getting caught, the Voice Spirit has completed his Lincoln, and the Astral getting dropped out by the Lincoln onto the OD. The OD using Astral on himself and running back. The BKB getting expended, but the OD dies. The Luna using his BKB but getting kited out so heavily. So in the meantime, Mars going for the Jakido, but they won't be able to get the Jakido. But as soon as the BKB from Luna gets over, they just try to burst down the Luna. But the Abaddon says that coming from Luna helps the Luna to survive. All these fights have been taking place without the Razor in the team fight. It's a buyback coming from the Jakido. It's a nice 2-mana ice path coming from Jakido. The Razor is back into the team fight. And the Abaddon and both Abaddon Abaddon and Mars dies. It's a buyback coming from Mars. The Earth Spirit rolls and trying to save the Luna, but the Void Spirit first will was a bit too much for the Luna to tank and survive in the team fight. So as we can say that once Abaddon dies in the team fight, the Luna is a dead meat. He won't be able to survive the burst damage once his BKB is over, and once Abaddon is not beside him to survive, make him survive in the team fight. The last fight, Abaddon was there to help him survive, but once that was over, once Abaddon died, all of them jumped onto the Luna to kill him.
I mean, the supports are prioritizing their buybacks. They are not holding it back. I mean, they die, they instantly buy back, they come into the fight.
Your style. That is some hot chili you're serving up down there.
So at this point of time, the Void Spirit didn't have his buyback, so it was very pretty necessary to kill that Luna and at the same time save that Void Spirit. So what Jakiro did, that as soon as he died, he just bought back. He just bought back just to save the Void Spirit and also to secure the kill of Luna and the other two heroes. And it was a nice ice path, a 2-man ice path coming from Jakiro. We secured them the kill.
But the Jakiro's ice path is also annoying, right? If it is done properly, it catches a whole team. If they don't have BKB, they are all caught up, and with that entire magical damage coming out of Jakiro, that's really hard.
Yeah, exactly.
There are so many obstacles, and all the picks are like almost countering each other. They have a Luna to carry the game, and the Razor is countering. I mean, then if they want to put everyone, like they have a OD to astral someone and kill the other, then they have a Night Stalker and Void Spirit. So they are countering each other pretty good.
Yeah, Void Spirit is just thinking of going for a Hex rather than going for agony. So just to bring much more lockdown into the team fights. Some insta Hex coming and bursting down that hero, probably. Much before Abaddon saves the allies. So Abaddon playing an important role in this fight. He's just trying to save the Luna, trying to save the OD from the team fight, from the burst damage. Once the BKBs are over, I think once the BKB from Luna is over, it's pretty tough game for Luna to handle the burst damage. But as long as Abaddon is there, and as long as Luna completes his Satanic, it'll be a tough time for the Radiant side to take the fights. Because the amount of control that the Gaia side is having is much more than the Radiant side, with the Void Spirit and Night Stalker jumping onto the backline and killing the supports and all. So, yeah. ठीक है. বলবো একটু wait করতে তো ঠিক আছে. Some technical pause coming from the side. This is the sort of game that every one of us expected to see in the upper bracket finals.
Yeah, I mean, bloodthirsty game, people running after each other, no patience, no waiting, just run at the enemy, try to kill them. You know, as soon as you die, get a buyback, go into the fight again, re-engage, try to kill, and make sure that the buyback money is worth it.
This was one of the most anticipated game of the tournament, and since the upper bracket final, the team winning this game will be securing a spot in the grand finale, and they will be like securing a chunk of the prize pool. So yeah, this is a very important game for both of the sides, and also both the teams are playing a heart out just to win this game, to win this battle. It's a matter of respect, it's a matter of prize money, it's a matter of everything for them at this point of time. So we can see a 12k network lead coming from the Radiant, coming from the dire side at this point of time, and this Razor is getting fat every as time passes by.
Oh, the Void Spirit actually has a link in now.
Yeah.
That's a really good item.
Yeah, he's just Lincoln predicting that the OD may be astraling him, or maybe making a Hex next item just to lock down that Voice Spirit, and to prevent OD from doing that. He just goes for a Lincoln. It's a pretty good item choice. Next, he's going for a Hex, and it's again a 5-man smoke coming from the dire side. Just running across the map, or going to the other side of the map so they can catch the OD. OD is walking into the ward, walking under the vision of the ward. It's a nice Abyssal Blade coming from the Night Stalker. This Night Stalker is pretty fat, oh my god. With Blink and Abyssal, this OD just melts, followed up by the Ice Path. It's a pretty tough game for OD and OD and the Radiant side.
Just look at the damage. Just look at the damage of the Night Stalker. I mean, he is a strength hero. He has around like 500 damage attack speed, like 300 attack. Then he has like 25 armor.
Yeah, also, a fight breaking out in the mid lane. The Voice with Mars is BKB, just and making a defensive arena. And also he also uses Refresher Orb, and also uses BKB the second time. So the Refresher Orb has already been expended, 2 BKB has been expended just to save himself from the fight. Yeah, Nihar, what you are telling?
No, I was just looking at like how they are playing, like the dire side. They are respecting every move their enemy is making, everything. The buybacks, the refreshers, everything. They're respecting everything. Oh, and they got the Jakiro off guard. But he has a Snapfire as backup. Oh, and the Jakiro is dead. There is that Void. The Earth Spirit is as BKB, and they're all getting out of the Mars arena. And the Luna has got the Razor. Oh, the Abyssal Cat from the. Oh no.
As we can see that we can see that just as I have told that the Razor will be going onto the Luna. Right. And this is the same thing that is happening. The Luna is like can't do anything against a Razor. You need to make a Lincoln, I guess, at this point of time. Razor is just going onto the Luna, sucking out all the damage. They are just diving onto the fountain. This Night Stalker is going crazy, going ham onto the Radiant side and going and jumping onto the fountain just to kill the Luna, just to make Luna have a dieback. And ultimately they decide to fall back and decide to take the mid lane tower. I think this game is pretty much over at this point of time.
Yeah.
It's again a jump from the Night Stalker Abyssal being expanded onto the Luna, and this Luna just melts with the amount of burst damage coming from the Void Spirit and the Razor and the Night Stalker.
Yeah, when the Night Stalker is fat and the Razor is fat, and the Razor has his Satanic, so that makes him really hard to kill. With an Assault Cuirass and a BKB, you'd find it really hard.
It's a fortification coming from the Radiant side, but the Dire side is willing to end the game at this point of time. They are like, we had enough of this. Yeah, it's high time that we end the game. With Luna with the dieback and having buyback. It's a jump from the Earth Spirit trying to buy time for the team. But yeah, ultimately that time buy came at the expense of his life. Earth Spirit they once again jumped. It's ultimate used by OD, but the BKB coming from the Night Stalker, and Abyssal Blade used on the OD, and the nice cookie coming from Snapfire, just locking down the OD and the Abaddon, and it's
the Digicol is made.
So with the thank you for tuning in, and also we'll be coming live with the second game, and hope to see a comeback from the stylish gamers. The really great game played from the side of the DigicontEsports in the first game. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back. ये चैनल से निकलते हैं, अभी स्ट्रीम चल रहा है शायद सटन का।
हाँ, वो उसमें ओपन होते हैं।
ओपन लॉबी में आता। Then you're gonna find much more coming from the back side.
Hello.
হ্যালো সেটান আছো? হ্যালো 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 সেটান।
मैं अगर वो वैसे पागलों की तरह नहीं करता ना। हाँ, আমি করে দিয়েছি, তুই আমারটায় চলে আয়, এসে হোস্ট করে দে, ওরা সবাই ঢুকেও গেছে।
স্টার্ট করবে না, আমার ব্ল্যাক স্ক্রিন আটকে আছে ডোটা।
তুই আয়, আমি অপোনেন্টদের বলে দিই।
এ পাম্পু তো অফলেন না ক্যারি খেলতো না, কেন ফোর কেন খেলে? ওই ওটাই হবে, আইএল এস4ই হবে আর কি।
এরা পুরো পাগলা কুত্তার মতো দৌড়েছে, যেখানে যাকে দেখতে পেয়েছে দৌড়েছে।
এসজি একটা লবি হবে নাকি, আমরা 5 জন ভার্সেস ডিজিকন?
चलो मैं तो रेडी हूँ भाई, चलो।
সেটানো থাকবে, সেটান আইজিএল ইনকাম লিডার আমাদের।
বাবা এটা আজকে যা
काश
খেলা দেখালো।
काश जिसको करना है ये वाले चैनल पर जा।
হ্যাঁ বাবা চুপ কর।
मेरा मेरा अगर लैपटॉप हकता नहीं ना तो मैं और मतलब हाँ हाँ
नमस्कार।
मैं
कैप्टन्स
और
मोड सिंगापुर, विजिबिलिटी पब्लिक, पासवर्ड ये स्पेक्टर करनो, बाहर से नहीं दिखेगा बंदा लॉबी, पीले तो है 2 मिनट्स तक।
গো ফাস্ট গো ফাস্ট।
स्टाइलिश के मार।
ये कोई अनिर्बान
आई।
साहब क्या के वॉइस में बैठा है।
अरे वो हमारे ही मेरा ही दोस्त फ्लिपटाइड है।
अच्छा
डिजिकॉन स्टाइलिश गेमर्स गो गो गो।
রিপ্লেট স্কাউট করতে এসছে গেম প্লে, পরের সিরিজে হবে তো খেলা একটা কারো না কারোর সাথে।
মানে আমরা হেরে গেছি তুই বলে দিলি তো জেরে ভাবে এইভাবে, তাই বল ঠিক
আরে না না,
আছে।
ওরকম কিছু না।
আর আমি খেলবো না তোদের সাথে। তুই মেকআপ দিস না তাই বলে।
সেটা ঠিক বলেছে, আরে আমি
তবে এসজি তুমি তুমি অ্যান্টিমেজ নিয়ে ব্যাসার আগে না বানিয়ে ভ্যানগার্ড আগে বানিয়েছিল কেন?
ও বাবা ঠিক।
ড্র্যাগ করে নে, ড্র্যাগ করে নে, কাস্টিং এর চ্যানেলটা ড্র্যাগ করে নে, সবাই ঢুকতে পারে, ঠিক আছে, র্যান্ডম লোক ঢুকবে তাই জন্য ওপেন লবিতে ঢুকে যায় না সবাই।
We can see Night Stalker getting banned on the first phase after that huge performance from the last game. We can see Night Stalker getting banned on the first phase after a huge performance from him last game.
Yeah, so it's basically a respect ban coming from the side of the stylish gamers, I guess. Night Stalker is the first ban coming from stylish gamers, followed by Razor. Razor is a pretty hard, like they are banning all the fast-paced heroes that the Digicon loves to play with, like Night Stalker, Razor, and all those heroes.
Okay.
So
Whereas Digicon Esports banning the OD and Spirit Breaker. What do you think will be the first pick coming from stylish gamers?
I'm hoping it will be something like Weaver. They both love to play Weaver, right?
Yeah, yeah. Weaver is like pretty good against, like he's a pretty good meta support. So stylish gamers taking the some a part of the reserve time just to make the first pick. They're deciding the pick.
I think right now they're just improvising. Yeah, that's the
There's a
Weaver
Weaver.
pick.
Can you give me the link of that video?
Can you server mute Nihat, please?
Okay.
It's again a meta pick coming from the side of Digicon Esports with Snapfire getting picked along with QOP. It's a pretty flex pick coming from Digicon Esports. You can put QOP in the as a carry hero. You can play QOP as a position 4. You can play QOP as a mid. You can play QOP as an offlaner.
A
So
safe
it's
laner
pretty
is
good
most
pick.
unlikely, though.
Yeah,
Probably.
but recently we can see some like unconventional heroes being played in the carry. Play as a carry, like you can see QOP, you can see Kunkka, all these heroes getting played in the carry role.
I believe we also
So
saw Jakiro mid last day.
yeah. So yeah, QOP likely this QOP is a mid laner, but it can be used as a carry on an off laner. So Stylish Gamers replying that pick with the Nyx Assassin. Nyx is a pretty good hero against Snapfire. You just need to use your Spike Carapace and stand in the Snapfire ulti, and that Snapfire will be a pretty rough time to channel that ultimate.
With those
And
two picks, it's hard for the supports on the side of Digicon. Those two heroes are really pesky and annoying. They just keep hunting the backlines.
yeah, exactly. Weaver is a pretty strong position 4 or position 5 hero at this point of time. With maxing the first kills, the bug is really annoying to play against. And with Weaver, I think they're gonna pick Wrath King. Wrath King and Weaver is a pretty strong lane.
Yes,
So
that's right.
yeah, and Stylish Game was banning out Ursa, Mars. They are at this point of time. They are just all the first 4 bans. As you can see from the side of Stylish Gamers are all first phase, first momentum based heroes like Mars, Ursa, Razor, Night Stalker. All these heroes like they love to play high paced games at this point of time.
Yeah, throughout that whole tournament, we have been seeing Digicon playing really aggressively throughout the game. You think that is a deny pick?
Yeah, maybe because WK is a pretty good pick against with along with Weaver, and it's a pretty meta hero at this point of time. And this time we can see stylish gamers opting for a first place game, like with White Spirit, Nyx, and Weaver, and pretty low cooldown, early high damage nuke heroes. They are this time they are probably stylish gamers thinking of matching up the pace in which Digicon Esports plays.
What do you think about the Lifestealer rating matchup later on?
Uh, it's personally I think Lifestealer does pretty well against WK, but at the same time WK comes online a bit early than LS
Yeah,
because the
WK will not be
fighting.
choosing to fight with Lifestealer anyway, right? He will be going for the
Yeah,
support squad. Okay, it is a
yeah.
tough pick. Well, that almost confirms the lane setup after that pick.
Digicon Esports replying with a disruptor pick, and the Doom getting banned from the side of Stylish Gamers, followed by Timbersaw ban coming from Digicon Esports. So it's a for the audience that's tuning in at this point of time, it's Stylish Gamers versus Digicon, the upper bracket finals that is going on. The game 2 is live at this point, and Digicon Esports is leading 1-0 over Stylish Gamers. The last ban coming from the side of Stylish Gamers in the form of
Doom ban is a great ban.
yeah.
That totally counters the Void Spirit.
Yeah, basically Doom is that sort of hero. It's like Razor. Razor like is an anti-carry hero at this point in this meta in this patch. And Doom is like you just need to shut down one hero. You just focus on one hero, just Doom in every fucking time and shuts that hero from the team fight. So yeah.
Tidehunter ban.
We saw in the last game, in the first game of the series, that Digicon Esports was playing a pretty fast-paced game, and Stylish Gamers were not able to match that space in which Digicon Esports was playing in the early to mid game, and that costed them the game at that like in the mid game only. So this time, I think Stylish Gamers have realized from their mistake, and probably they'll be playing some pretty. They'll be trying to match up the speed in which Digicon Esports is playing the games in this tournament. In the previous series, also we saw that Digicon was playing some pretty fast-paced games against three friends. So Stylish Gamers being a pretty professional and high experience lineup, probably they would have understood the mistake they did, and like they have understood the gameplay of Digicon Esports, and in this game they are trying to match the space in which Digicon Esports playing. So the last bans coming from in the form of Tide and Slather from both the sides, banning the offlane heroes. So both the teams are left with their offlane heroes as the last pick. Stylish Gamers goes for a Viper as the offlane hero. Okay. Something new as a Viper as the offlane pick. Whereas Digicon is supposed to be playing with us with a
I think
Legion
that's the
Commander.
answer to Void.
Yeah.
That's Digicon Esports' answer to Void.
So the second game of the series of the upper bracket finals is on its way. The draft is already done, and we are just waiting to dig into the game. So from the side of the Stylish Gamers, Master Instinct playing Void Spirit, Whatever I Don't Care, aka Gravity, aka Johnny playing Viper, Nayak's been played by Arjunan, aka I Am Ready, Pegasus playing the position 5 Weaver, Pampu playing the position 4 Nyx. Playing the position for Nyx.
I don't generally particularly like the hero Viper, the offlane too much.
So basically, Nyx Viper is a pretty strong lane at this point of time against the Disruptor and WK.
Okay.
So,
But what after the laning stage, as soon as the game starts sitting around 25 minutes?
They have picked they have drafted in such a manner like they are really ready to win the laning phase. Like they really want to win all the three lanes at this point of time. They really want to win all the three lanes at this point of time. This time we can see a 5-man smoke coming from the side of Stylish Gamer. Last time Last time also they did a 5-man smoke and their offlaner got a first blood. This time we can see a 4-man smoke, whereas LS is in the top lane, and this time also they are going for a snapfire. Oh my god, this snapfire is it's like a shagun from the side of DigicontEsports, I guess. Both the times, yeah, both the times it was like the snapfire getting picked up. Last time also snapfire was the one who gave the first blood, and this time also it's the snapfire only. Also, they noticed the disruptor. They went for the disruptor. This is a nice body block coming from Pegasus.
Another kill. No.
It's a nice 2-man body block, and it's a wide spread first kill connecting, and Weaver getting the second blood. Both the supports getting 1 kill each at the 0-minute mark. Oh my god, and Master Instinct does deceive, and he just moves towards the tower. What a time to deceive.
Oh my.
What a time to deceive.
I guess Void Spirit would love to have his hand on that amount of gold. Both of the kills went to supports.
Yeah.
That's like an instant bottle for him if he managed to get those two.
But the item build with
Yeah, if we have document, I can take a look at it. I have no problem.
Indradhanush?
What?
কোনটা নাম দিয়ে আমি জানি না the Riptide Gangu রিস্টার্ট করব ডিসকানেক্ট করে আবার রিকানেক্ট করব নাকি পুরোপুরি ডিসি করব রিস্টার্ট করছি না ডিসকানেক্ট করছি সোজা রিস্টার্ট মারছি
Are you sharing your screen? I cannot see anything.
निहार को थोड़ा म्यूट करो कोई मैं ऑफिस मीटिंग है
Okay. That's the solution. Well, White Spirit chose to chase the Snapfire, but they didn't manage to get the kill, so we can see QOP gaining a full level advantage on the mid lane.
I like your move.
Another pause coming out from DigicontEsports.
Pumped here. Oh, I am pumped here.
लोडिंग स्क्रीन सही कर ले यूट्यूब में तेरा एम्बर स्पीड का वो दिखा रहा है
Courier getting sniped by Disruptor.
like your moves. I like your style.
And a double kill by Weaver. Legion Commander is getting a lot of denies on the off lane.
My potato fish is still reconnecting into the game.
The save lane is getting owned by Weaver and Viper. Oh, that's a great block coming out from Weaver. And Weaver gets another kill. I believe that's one more kill for Weaver right there. Okay, 4 minutes in, we can see Weaver getting 4 kills. The matchup is kind of in QOP's favor. He's getting a lot of blast hits. The Lifestealer has only managed to get 13 last hit in 15 minutes, while Legion Commander securing 28 last hit with 10 denies. And that's a kill in the mid lane.
Alright, so I'm back. So it's in 6 minutes mark, and his stylish game was already dominating the game, as we can see with the 8 kill lead.
We can
QOP
see the
doing-
effect of Weaver on the off lane. Wraith King has moved to jungling. He has left
Yeah.
the lane completely.
Yeah, Weaver is a pretty strong support at this point of time. With Viper and Weaver in the lane, WJ will be having a rough time to farm in the NC also. Because Weaver will be just chasing that hero in every part of the map. Also, we can see that looking at the last hit chart, NC leading the last hit chart with 40 last hits, whereas QOP also winning the having a good time in the mid lane with 40 last hits each.
Lifesteal is pretty behind on the last hit side. Even after getting So many kills on the bottom lane.
It's a duel coming from LC and it's an easy duel win coming from cooldown. We just saw the amount of damage that this Snapfire dishes out once LC uses the duel on Nyx. The third skill damage is pretty too high, is too damn high for the Nyx to handle. The QOP also rotates into the top lane, trying to hunt the Life Stealer. And it's a nice cookie coming from the Snapfire. And this QOP trying to make as much space as possible, using the ultimate just to kill the Nyx, just to secure the Nyx assassin kill. Whereas in the meantime, WK is trying to get some sort of farm. He's going to keep him to the mid lane to take some sort of last hits. And also the Radiant side, even after having like 5 kills to being 3 kills down from the Dire side, they are still leading the net worth chart at this point of time. 2k net worth lead. Whereas the Void Spirit using the first skill just to catch the QOP, but missing it completely, and QOP just blinks out.
Oh, the Void Spirit has got double damage room, and the Weaver is there. Seems like it has moved back the Queen of Pain. The Queen of Pain wants to go back to his base, fountain, refill, get healthy, and come back and re-engage in fights. Meanwhile, the Weaver is trying to search the Wraith King. Where is he farming?
Whereas Disruptor is just enjoying all the levels, they're just jumping onto the Viper just to kill the Viper. The Static Storm being invested for the kill, for just securing the kill onto the Viper. This QOP is just moving around the map and just securing all the kills in the map. He is the hero this time to make the space for his team.
Well, Red King is enjoying the much needed time in each farm.
Okay, it's a nice kill on the Weaver. This Nyx is also dead, I guess. No, this Nyx will survive. The nice rotation comes from Void Spirit, but the QOP blinks and screams.
Oh, the Viper actually sees the QOP, so the Void knows where the QOP is going. Can the Void use his Astral Step? No, the Void is saving his Astral Step. He's not engaging the Queen of Pain again. I mean, all this space that is being made for the Wraith King to farm by the Radiant side is quite good.
Whereas we can see that the Legion Commander having a nice time in the top lane. He is leading the net. He is second into the network chart. He also had a pretty good game in the previous, in game 1 as an off-laner with nice Joker. He single-handedly did so much stuff. He made so much space for the team. Whereas this time Snapfire created so much space for the team with 4 of the heroes running behind him, and ultimately Master is securing the kill on the Snapfire. But all these things are just to make space for the WK to farm. He has already completed his armlet and going for the phase board. Even after having a tough time in lane, WK is just securing the he is just climbing up the ladder of the network chart with time.
Yes, Disruptor also getting a lot of XP on the bottom lane.
Yeah, he's just standing there and waiting for the Static Storm to come and just securing the kills on Viper every time that Swing is on CD. He just wants to kill. It's a duel used by LC, and it's already a 30 duel damage at the 11-minute mark. A nice impel coming from Nyx Assassin. Oh my god, it's a nice dodge coming from Weaver with his time lapse. So it's basically a kill onto the Viper.
And meanwhile, taking the mid lane.
Yeah.
Just if you look at how it is flowing, how the game is flowing. I mean, they are chasing
coming in at bottom.
Yeah, they are trying to chase the Wraith King and push him out of his lane, but at the same time they are losing space all over the map.
Yeah, but we can unlike the last game, we can see that this game is like high-paced game from both the teams. Like both the Dire and the Radiant are playing a very fast-paced game at this point of time. It's only 11 to 12 minutes mark, and we can see the score chart already suggesting it's 11 to 12. Like it's a neck-to-neck game with around 3k net worth lead from the Radiant side, but the amount of action that is going on in the map is quite entertaining to watch at. Again, the Disruptor deciding to tip into the bot lane just to get a kill onto the Void Spirit. The glimpse has been negated by the second skill usage from Void Spirit. WK was not in position in the right time just to stun that.
Yeah, that would have been a huge kill if they managed to get the ward.
Now they are going for the bottom first tower. And it's a nice glimpse coming from Disruptor, another 12 win from LC, I guess. Yeah, already 40 damage been stacked up by the 13-minute mark. The playstyle from DigicontEsports is like once the laning phase is over and the mid game starts, these 5 players like to clamp up as an unit and love to take towers, love to take team fights. If like once all their spells are on CD. So this strategy is pretty much working for them at this point of time against the stylish skirmishers. Even that WK had a tough lane in front of Weaver and Viper, but still he is 4th in the net worth chart and pretty much above the lifestealer. So we can say that both the carries had hard time laning this game.
But
we can
I'm looking at the Viper now.
Infesting Viper and smoking up to make a play.
No, like you said that the Wraith King had a hard lane. The Viper had a free lane. Why is he in the bottom 5th? That is my question.
I think it will only be a waste if they only manage to get the Disruptor after all of this effort.
The point is that even after Viper had a pretty good early game in the pretty good laning phase, he died twice or thrice. Like one Disruptor was getting all the levels, and as soon as the levels were, he had his ultimate. Every time with his ultimate, he kills
that's a great ulti from Disruptor.
Yeah, that's a great ultimate from Disruptor, and this LC is so pretty fat at this point of time. At the 14-minute mark, he is already having 50 duel damage, whereas in the meantime, WK is doing stuff. He's just hitting the top lane, say a tier 2 tower. And the thing that I was mentioning, even Viper had a pretty good early game. The problem is that Viper is such a hero. Once he gets killed 2 to 3 times, if he starts falling in the net worth chart, he will be playing from behind only. So what Disruptor did, that he was there standing into the tree line and taking all the levels. He was like level 6 at the 8 minute 30 seconds mark, and as soon as he was level 6, he just used his static storm. Once QOP rotated, once LC rotated, and they secured the kill on Viper. So all the network lead that Viper had was nullified.
Yep, right. You can see Disruptor is also queuing up for Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, he is just giving up for as the first item Aghanim Scepter this game. And we can expect again a smoke here. It's a 4-man smoke coming from the side of DigicontEsports.
They know that they know that the Viper is there because he uses Nether Toxin, right? So they're trying to hunt him down.
But the Radiant side, the smoke movement was on the wrong side of the map. The Tire side are only securing the bot lane tower, whereas the Radiant side are looking for any sort of pickoffs in the top side of the map. DLS has completed his armlet and moving towards the next item, whereas WK has already completed his armlet and power trade and pretty much close to his Dezo. And in the meantime, the Radiant side also securing the tier 2 top lane tower. So we can say that, so we can see that the map control, everything that this team DigicontEsports is having is pretty much like, it's a duel. He's on lifestealer, but was it a good decision? No, I won't say it's a pretty good decision coming from the side of DigicontEsports.
I think that's a good communication by the Decon side.
Yeah, All the rest of the heroes was just walking towards the mid lane. LC was a bit too early in initiating onto LS, and since there were no other heroes to burst down that LS, so it's a counter 3-man kill coming from the side of Stylish Gamers, taking good care of the advantage. And as soon as they got the 3 kills, they decided to go for the Roshan with the Medallion of Courage, and the first kill coming from the Weaver. It's a pretty easy Roshan kill at this point of time.
I felt like that was not how they wanted that mid fight. The Legion Commander should have waited for his team, for his backup, and then they should have fought it 5v5. At least they would have got some trades, trade kills, but this way they didn't get any trade kills. It's just 3 kills that went to the Dire side, and a pretty good chunk of their network lead is lost.
It was a clear message of miscommunication coming from the side of DigicontEsports at this point of time, because LC just tipped and instantly blinked in the duel, expecting that all his teammates are tipping. But apart from KOP, the rest 2 teammates were just walking towards the mid lane. It's a 5-man smoke coming from the side of Stylish Gamers, and the only hero that they managed to catch is the Snapper, and it's a nice static storm coming from the side of Disruptor, getting Weaver and this Void Spirit. But yeah, the WK coming into the fight with his ulti in CD, the age is getting expanded.
Both the Wraith King and the LC fought it out, but the Aegis keeps the Lifestealer alive. Oh, that's a misstun. And the Disruptor pulls back the next assassin, and
You think they can manage to get one more kill with this?
No, I don't think they would be able to kill the Disruptor. So it was a nice Aegis fight coming from the side of Digicon. Although the Stylish Gamers had a pretty good advantage with the Aegis on Eyeless, but it was a pretty well placed Static Storm that won them the fight. The Static Storm onto Weaver and Void Spirit totally won them the fight. The Void Spirit was not able to do anything, and Kyopu just busted down into Static Storm. And we can see it's only a 19-minute mark, and LC is having a 70-12 damage in his pocket, and is going for BKB as his next item after he's completed his Blink dagger. And WK in the last fight also, WK didn't have
Another duel win from LC at mid.
Oh, sorry, I missed it completely. So yeah, the last fight also, it would have been a very even fight if WK had mana.
Yeah, the Nyx
his ultimate,
still on WK. That is a really great play from WK. Also used a mango.
Yeah, but that was not enough, I guess.
Yeah.
LC with the DD trying to chase that.
Okay, that early rage used. Think they can abuse that now?
No, this LS will survive. He infes onto Weaver, and they just simply backs out. And it was this LS rage was pretty good kited out by the Disruptor and the Cookie from the Snapfire. And we can see that with the 20 minutes mark, this Disruptor is getting pretty much close to his Aghanim Scepter. He's like around 1500 gold, only 1500 gold away from his Aghanim. There is a 3-man smoke coming from the side of the Radiant. We can expect another duel, but the LC was pretty far, and Static Storm and Cube ultimate been invested, and LS getting securing the kill from LS, and it's a nice games coming from Disruptor, securing the kill onto Pampu. So nice game coming from the side of the DigicontEsports. It's like it's just 20 minutes mark, and it's like 20-20.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Legion Commander is actually stacking damage. The Legion Commander is up to 90 damage now.
Yeah. He's just stacking damage, and
he also has Blink now.
And his BKB is almost halfway through.
WK already had a Blink, Deso, an Omelette at this point of time.
Yeah, a bad game in the early stage, but he still managed to catch up.
Yeah, he's not only managed to catch up, he is doing the net worth chart at this point of time. He is the highest net worth hero at this in the net worth lead. In the bot lane, we can see another duel damage coming onto the side of LC. He's just using duel onto Weaver, and every time he duels the Weaver, that Weaver is pretty much dead. And that stacks up the duel damage to 110 from the side of LC. This offlaner from the side of DigicontEsports is doing wonders for the team. In both the games, they are just playing. He just made space. He's just having a pretty good early, mid, late game in both the teams. This time also, this LC is having a pretty good time. He's almost pretty much close to his BKB. Also, we can see a vendetta coming from Nick's assassin trying to hunt any of the heroes, whereas from the side of that, probably we're gonna see a smoke maybe, waiting for the QOP or VWK to come, or we can see a 4-man smoke once again. Yeah, it's a 4-man smoke. Oh my god! And but the disruptor by mistake hit the NC. And at the same time, we can see a 4-man smoke coming from the dash side, waiting for the Radiant to be a bit aggressive. But the only hero that they can see is the WK, and they don't want to go onto the WK because that would be a pretty bad hero choice to take fight. Whereas oh my god, it's a nice
and a huge.
That instant duel from the LC onto the Weaver, just the damage output is so much heavy.
Yeah, and we just saw that the Weaver, Viper, and Void Spirit just getting deleted.
Yeah, they perfectly.
I didn't understand why Weaver was like stay forward and hitting the tower at this point of time. Because even if LC dwells that Weaver, there is no other hero from the side of Stylish Gamers that gonna save that Weaver from the duel damage. Oh, that was a clear miscommunication or a sort of bad decision making, trying to hit the tower. But nevertheless,
Disruptor still has
Disruptor still has means another duel damage going on to the LS. This LS is so very dead.
A big mistake from that Steelers side.
It's only 24 minutes mark and they are just dominating the game at this point of time from the side of DigicontEsports. Some return kills coming from the side of Stylish Gamers. They're going on to the... Oh my god, that damage output from this WK, that Dezo and Omelette damage. But this WK has his second life, he survives, he bites back into the game and comes with the time-lapse usage.
You can see the Viper's first kill flying up the map.
Yeah, but WK immediately TPs out, realizing there is no much lockdown left from the side of Stylish Gamers. And it was a pretty good fight coming from the Radiant side with two buybacks being forced in the form of Weaver and LS.
And after that, they only managed to get only 2 of the supports.
Yeah, that was a pretty good disengage also. QOP is pretty much like 100-200 goal away from his BKB. Whereas this disruptor is so very fat. He has already completed his Aghanim, another duel coming on to LS. I think this LS is pretty much dead. It's a dieback coming from the side of LS. A nice backline jump from Void Spirit killing the disruptor. Whereas WK is hitting like a truck. He is hitting everyone like 1 shot, 2 shot, each and every hero. He is going for the Viper next, but his ulti on CD, so he decides to go back. Sapphire decides to save the WK, but that cookie was used all in vain. And it's a nice triple kill coming from Master Instinct. Nice well-timed jump into the backline, clearing the disruptor, and after that clearing WK and Snapper 1 by 1. So QOP was not there in that fight. He was just completing his BKB. He was just 200 gold away from his BKB, and this communication was clearly not made to his team at that point of time. So probably they thought a bit ahead of themselves. Although they got a kill of LS. That was a dieback from LS, but still, nevertheless, it was a good net worth shift in the favor of Stylish Gamers, with Master Instinct doing some clutch plays and killing 3 to 4 heroes. He's going for the Aghanim. Oh my god, he is baiting that illusion bait from the side of Void Spirit. Oh, that's a really smart play. That's some 1,000 to 2,000 IQ gameplay coming from side of Voice Spirit. He just he just baited his illusion so very well. The Disruptor uses the ultimate as soon as he saw the Voice Spirit illusion, and as soon as the ultimate was over, this Voice Spirit just jumped onto the Disruptor, used all his spells, and just killed. And
So there is
also
a smoke coming from the dire side in the mid. It's a 4-man smoke. And they can see that the Void Spirit killing the creep wave, so they probably know this, and the smoke breaks. And here is the Nyx assassin. Oh, that's okay, that's a nice save from the Weaver. There is no dual damage to be obtained there. Meanwhile, the Void Spirit jumping on the back line and killing the Snapfire, and now they find the Wraith King. That's a lot of burst damage. And there is that Legion Commander's press the attack coming on to the Wraith King, and the Wraith King disengages back. So it's 1-for-1 kill
yeah,
trade.
the damage output coming from the LS is so heavy. Like he has his BKB now, so even with the proper time lapse being used by Weaver, he was not able to save that Nyx. Yeah, the damage output is pretty much heavy coming from side of LC, sorry. And as soon as the Silent Gamer realized that the Disruptor ultimate was down, that smoke play, although it didn't work out, but the plan was really pretty good. They had a clear idea of what they had want to do in this game. Once the Disruptor ulti was baited out, they just smoked as a 5-man unit and tried to get a pick off. Now it's time for the Radiant side to get some more items. Disruptor is going for this Eon Days, whereas the LC is trying to blink in and duel the Void Spirit, but he was not able to do that. The Void Spirit was pretty fast to just disengage from that fight. It's a 5-man smoke coming from the Radiant side at this point. It's a 5-man smoke coming from the dash side as well. Nice ward placement, and it's a 12 coming from the side of LC, bursting down the LS. Oh my god, that amount of damage output coming from the side of the Radiant. Now the dire side are totally in the point of retreating from the fight. They went for the Viper, now they are going for the Void Spirit, I guess. Yeah, the Void Spirit catching the LC, and the nice armlet usage saves the LC from the fight. Void Spirit is out of his spells, and Weaver comes in and trying to save the Void Spirit, trying to save Master Instinct, but was not able to do that. Nice team fights coming from both the sides. It's bloodbath going on in this game. It's a 30-minute mark, and we can already see there's 62 kills into the game. So it's like a bloodbath that is going on at this point of time. So once again we can see a haste being used, and it's a nice game coming from Disruptor. This Nyx is pretty much dead. This LS has completed his Sanj, and at this point of time we can see another initiation going on to the Viper. But with the Void Spirit and Nyx being dead, the Radiant side realized that it's a high time that you can go for a Roshan fund, you can go for the Aegis. The meantime, we can see among all the force from both the sides is the life stealer only that is 6th in the network chart at this point of time. He is the lowest of the lot. He's had a tough game, and also LC always initiating on LS, dwelling, and with the followed up by a Disruptor ulti and QOP ultimate. The LS is like doing next to nothing the team fights. So George and Nihar, what do you think will be the win condition at this point of time from the side of stylish gamers?
I think stylish gamers are on the back foot right now. They are having a lot of problem dealing with this Legion commander, who is really aggressive and who really wants to get out the duel. And having 200 duel damage with a BKB and armlet of Modigan, and he's just standing at the back line, and he catches someone else again.
I think stylish gamers can still come back into the game if DigicontEsports makes a mistake going into the high ground and overextending.
So it's a Radiant side of in the side of stylish gamers, they are just allowing the one-sided mega. Even the duel has been used on Pampu, and it's a nice turn coming from the side of LS, but it's a nice save coming from
that rage is
Weaver. Yeah, that Weavers really saved that lifestealer. But the control from the side of Radiant side is too much heavy to handle for the LS. In the meantime, Voice Spirit jumps onto the back line, he just kills the Snapfire, and all the heroes of the dire side are going for the backline support going up to the Disruptor. It's a buyback from Lifestealer, but this Lifestealer I think would not be able to do that much in the team fight. At this point of time, his net worth is pretty much low with not that much amount of item, but with the Voice Spirit jumping onto the backline every time killing the support Snapfire and the Disruptor, it was a pretty evident.
Really good disengage from DigicontEsports.
Yeah. It's a really good disengage coming from the side of DigicontEsports.
And they'll save the. You can still see the melee barrack standing.
But yeah, we can see a melee barrack standing, but that came at a pretty heavy cost. Like Lifestealer, Weaver, all of the heroes bought back into the game just to win the fight.
From Lifestealer in a 34 minute
game. He was already having a pretty tough game. He was already having, oh my god, it's a nice duel coming from LC, but Weaver is there to save that Voice Spirit. And it's a nice positioning at the right time from the Weaver, coming from the Weaver. He was just there at the right time to save that Voice Spirit from getting killed. And already this LS has suffered a lot in this game, and also along with that, with those two buybacks, I think it's a pretty tough time. It's a nice burst coming from the side of Voice Spirit. Oh my god, that amount of burst damage was too hot to handle for LC. This Voice Spirit is pretty much farmed at this point of time with Sanskaya, Aghanim and Ethereal Blade being completed. It's a nice counter item for LC at this point of time. The Weaver is also there to help his teammates every now and then with this Aghanim and Italians waiting completed for the range to get that amount of range. The Disruptor is pretty much close to his close to his Yondisk, whereas QOP has completed his Bloodthorn. Snapfire has completed his Hood and is going for Aghanim as the next item. WK has completed his BKB and Blink and is going for an Assault. Whereas LC is pretty much dead, but the dire side was not able to go into the team fight. It's a nice jump from the Voice Spirit and an instant sorting summoned by the Disruptor. And this
the Weaver could not come to save him. The Weaver has time lapse.
Yeah, because it dived such deep into the base. It's hard for Weaver to save the Voice Spirit.
That's really fast hand from the side of Disruptor. As soon as he saw that the Voice Spirit was jumping onto the backline, he was right. He was pretty much ready for that thing, I guess.
And Voice Spirit has no buyback right now.
No,
not even LS. I think that's another set of racks. What do you think, Lipsap Angel?
Maybe it's a set of rack, I guess, or maybe they can go for the second tower, bot lane second tower even. But I think that's a set of rack, set of mid lane rack.
Yeah, I can see WK heading straight to the mid tower.
Yeah, I think Voice Spirit jumped onto the Snapfire just to secure that kill, and he was just having faith on that Weaver, that Weaver will be there at the right time to save him from Disruptor ultimate or anything.
That's a huge damage on LC, so the tower is just no time.
But Weaver was not there, was not able to go in, just like Voice Spirit did to save him from the.
They are getting straight mid.
Yeah, they just realized that LS does have a dieback. Yeah, and Voice Spirit doesn't have a buyback at this point of time. If he had, he would have already bought in. So yeah, they are just there to
that's the
the game at the point. That's the easy and the friendly tips and really unexpected way of event that came. Most of us expected, like most of the players from the Dota 2 India community expected that it will be a 2-0 from the side of Stylish Gamers. But props to DigicontEsports, they played really amazing. Their gameplay was on point. All their movement, all their smoke movement, all their calls were really on point, and that secured them the game. It's a 2-0 whitewash coming from the side of DigicontEsports, and kudos to them. They moved to the grand finale, and whereas the Stylish Gamers moved to the lower bracket final, the run is still not over from the side of Stylish Gamers. And thank you guys for tuning in, joining me, my co-caster Dodge and Nihar. Thank you for casting with me.
Yeah,
Hope
and
to
don't
see you
forget
guys
to.
soon tomorrow. Yeah, and please don't forget to like and share and subscribe this channel and to improve the Dota 2 India community and to bring more and more people. Thank you. Open lobby to chal.
ভাই এই ম্যাচটা
Open lobby stream হচ্ছে।
currently not delivery.